today is day 143 of the year of streaming and learning to code. We are continuing on at 50% of the way through SQL table transformation here at Codecademy. We are heading into lesson 3, conditional aggregates. Yesterday we finished set operations, had a minor mental fiasco on whether or not to continue with lesson 3 yesterday, but we got that sorted out. Took a while, but then now we're here. I definitely think it was the right choice. We're going to do just section 3 today and then just section 4 tomorrow. Even though they're small, that's what, the little kitty? What are you good? Ow, your claws. Thank you for doing that. Okay, and at least we got her situated early on in the stream. What do you do? You're like upside down. Just lay down. Fully commit. If you're gonna do this, just do it normally, right? We're good? We're golden? Thank you. Alright, so she dove into the napping position early, so let's just dive right into lesson 3 from the get-go. I checked the audio. I compared the audio to day 1. God, whiskers. Hey, Jesus. Okay, clawing my thighs. I compared the audio from day 141 before we made the changes, and then later in episode 141. Or stream 141, whatever we're referring to this as, day 141. I think it's around like the 45-minute, 46-minute mark, which is where I start to make the audio changes. Yeah, so I compared. It was just awful prior for the first pre-45-minute section. Then when we made the change, it definitely got better. Still a lot of clipping in moments. So then I watched yesterday's stream, bits of it, day 142, and yeah, so I think restarting the stream, closing out OBS and all that good stuff, and setting up the stream from scratch like normal for day 142 definitely helped a lot. I'm sure there were still some lingering software effect things when it was clipping the audio previously in day 141 towards the end. Oh no, our face. Oh God, save the children. Oh no. I didn't know where to look. I wanted to look at this way, but there's a mic here, and that would have just been weird to sneeze all up on that, so oh God, I'm a monster. Okay, what are we doing? Fun fact, there's also gardening happening outside. I don't know if you guys hear. I'll be quiet. Can you hear the gardening? No? Like leaf blower stuff? Right outside the window? Probably not. If you can't, we'll find out. Oh God, it's happening. Don't mind me. I will spare you. Save yourselves. Oh God, we're still falling apart, but This is that's as good as we're gonna get. We're just gonna have to make do. Yeah. Okay. We're still afloat. We should have brought water wings. They're vast amounts of liquid. We are severely outnumbered in this situation. What are we doing? We were reflecting. Anyways, day 142. Day 141. We finally made changes to the audio. Even though we made changes, there was still clipping. So day 142, obviously we powered down the stream, did all that. Day 142, we got to reset up everything. I listened to that, and everything sounded super duper awesome. This is the same setup as day 142. I kind of want to try adjusting the gain levels on the mic, but I want to do another day with this current audio setup, and I'll see if we need to change it from there. I can't tell if it's slightly quieter. I think the audio is slightly quieter, however, to the same degree, I think it's also slightly more clear. And it almost seems as if it's louder, but it's because of those redundant noise gate, gain settings and noise suppression that I was running in OBS. So it was just kind of a muddied, overly filtered audio signal previously. But yeah, anyways, good times. Marching on, day 140 something, day 143. We're drowning. This is not going to end well. Okay. People succumb to anaphylactic shock while streaming all the time on Twitch. There's no need to feel concerned about this. Yeah, no, thus the mega death with all the gardening stuff and the extra dusty things. It's basically like biological warfare outside my window. Biological? Chemical. One of those. No, biological. Yep, that's the right choice. Speaking of unfortunate events, there's 8 parts to this. So let's start chipping away at that. We've got aggregate functions revisited. Sounds gripping. From the top, aggregate functions compute a single result from a set of multiple input values. You can think of aggregate data as data collected from multiple rows at a time. In this lesson, we'll continue learning about aggregate functions by focusing on conditionals, sums, and combining aggregate functions. Conditional aggregates are aggregate functions that compute a result set based on a given set of conditions. If you are new to aggregate functions, we recommend you complete this course first, which was one of the previous lessons. We're good on that. We checked that out yesterday. Instructions. The count function is an aggregate function, since it aggregates from multiple rows. Okay, good. We're counting multiple rows. Check. Count the number of rows in the flights table. Flights, good. And we're flapping and we're flying, representing the total number of flights contained in the table. I lost interest after the comma, so we're representing somebody. Good. Select origin ID, select count asterisk from flights F, where f.id is less than flights.id, and f.origin equals flights.origin plus 1 as flight sequence number from flights. We ran this yesterday, and it didn't like what we had to say about that. It runs, we get all this fun info, and we're trying to figure out how many rows we're faced with. Is that... Okay. Let's see. What should we be looking for? The count function is an aggregate function. Check. since it aggregates data. Cool. Count the number of rows. So count A. Little cat, what are you doing? Claws. Claws. Count the number of rows in the flights table, representing the total number of flights contained in the table. I feel like there should be a count somewhere around, before, near. Is it an additional set of parentheses? Like, am I doing another? I kind of feel like I'm doing another set. That feels wrong. Something like that, maybe. That can't be right. That can't be right. Let's see what they recommend. Wow, that was it? I thought, why'd they have all the... Gah! I would like to note, I set the count. Can we go back? Select all. Copy. Command Z, no. Damn them. Reset exercise. What the deuce? What? That's not what they had before. Am I being punked? Ashton? No. Just Friends? That's a great movie. Yes, they somehow managed to convince you to put the aluminum foil in the microwave. Alright. What are we looking for? Select them. That's not even the right... This is all wrong. Wrong. Reset the whole page. No. Not that. Bastards. Restart. Reset. Okay. Yeah! And it's not even... What is that? That's not a thing. No. Oh my god, they're trying to make us feel like we're a crazy person, or crazier than we normally are. There were like 8 lines of code. Anyways, the point is that don't mind the where statement here. In fact, yeah, get rid of... you know what? Here, watch. Don't mind me. They had all that nonsense in between, okay? They had all that, and then they had, like, as, you know, flight sequence or something. Okay. So, and they had, like, ID and origin, and, then there was some stuff down here. It was like select, count, and other thing, and there was a whole lot of stuff and just weirdness going on, right? So in my tiny mind, I was thinking, I knew the count thing went after select, before all the nonsense, and ends right before from, if we're trying to count all the rows of the flights table. That's why I wrapped everything. Because this seemed like one of those weird sub-query things, not on the primary level as the select and flight, but within, because they had it doing that stupid indenty thing, you know? I'm trying to justify my craziness, but I could see it, and that's why it was exactly, if we add our extra stuff here because we wanted to count all that, and count already had all the asterisk stuff here. So if we get rid of everything between the parentheses with keeping only the asterisks, ta-da, look at that. True, there's origin and ID, but that's what I was thinking of. It was their stupid code, and then you just saw, when we reset it, it gave us an entirely different set of code. It's all in your head, Stephen. I'm envisioning the code. None of this is real. This is how it all starts. This is bad. Alright, restart the exercise. Oh yes, because this is supposedly what they gave us before. Lies. Run. Typical. Oh yes, look, they hate everything we're doing. Fascinating. Let's get rid of this. Ta-da, and we'll do a semicolon, that's all we need to do. Now, they had it on one line, which we can also do on one line, and we'll run it. Okay, 1 of 8. They're trying to trick us. I know it. We might be reading into it too much, but wouldn't be the first time. Okay. While working with databases, it's common for them to lie to you. Sorry, I'm still not over the last section. Why would they change the code entirely? Moving on. Okay, we'll get there. While working with databases, it's common to have empty or unknown cells in data tables. For example, in our first flights table, we kept track of when the flights arrive in a column called arrival time. Okay, arrival time. Oh, that's just a photo, not an actual text column. Good. So, arrival time. In this table, the third flight was canceled and therefore did not have an arrival time. We'll leave this cell empty, which is denoted as null. What do we do when we need to test whether a value is null? What? No. What do we do when we need to test whether a value is or is not null? There we go. English is our friend. We use the special keywords is null or is not null. Not exactly special. Good to know, though. In the where clause, equals null does not work. What? Oh, where blankety blank equals null. That's not a thing. So we need to do where blankety blank is null or is not null. Cool. Instructions. Count the number of rows from the flights table where arrival time is not null and the destination is Atlanta. At least I'm assuming ATL is Atlanta. So, count the number of rows from the flights table. Check. Where arrival time is not null. And what do I do for the and? How do I denote destination is Atlanta? Is it equals? Destination Atlanta? That's not right. How do I denote the value of... No, line 1, yeah, column... What would I do? If I'm looking for something, I would type... Wow, I'm just totally blanking on that. Don't mind me. Don't mind me. We want you here. Sequel. Queries. No, that's just query stuff. We're trying to find something. Hey, little whiskers, I'm looking for stuff. Just, if you're gonna assume the napping position, commit. Yes, out, thank you. Good talk. Subqueries. Why is it confused? We've done all that stuff. Did it reset the whole... Oh my god, it reset the whole activity. That's okay. That is okay. We're making progress. We're making progress. Alright. Things that rhyme with subqueries. No. Aggregate functions. Count. Average? No. Downloads. Why am I struggling with trying to piece that together? Select count from flights where blank is not null and destination something. Is it just in parentheses? No, it's single quotes. It's equals. Let's try that. Aha! I got it. Good. Let's close this. I really hope their reset exercise didn't reset the whole course. If it did, then they've got their reset exercise button all screwed up, but whatever. Next. Okay. Section 3, case when. Oh god. Just awful. My apologies. We're sinking. We're taking on water. Little kitty, I blame you. And all the pollen-y, dusty stuff that was shimmied around from the gardeners. Okay. Almost every programming language has a way to represent if, then, else, or conditional logic. In SQL, we represent this logic with the case statement as follows. Select case. When elevation is less than 500, then low. When elevation between 500 and 1,999, then medium. When elevation is greater than or equal to 2,000, then high. Else, unknown. End as elevation tier, count from airports, group by 1. In the above statement, end is required to terminate the statement, but else is optional. If else is not included, the result will be null. Also notice the shorthand method of referencing columns to use in group by, so we don't have to rewrite entire case statement. Okay. Kind of. So how does the group by work? Modify the case statements such that when the elevation is less than 250, the elevation tier column returns low when between 250 and 1749, returns medium when greater than or equal to 1750, returns high. Be sure to alias the conditional statement as elevation tier in your query. So basically this statement but we are modifying the altitude. Yes? Quite possibly. Less than 250. When between 250 and 1749. And 1750. Be sure to alias the condition. Okay, I think it's got as elevation tier. Let's go and run that. Fingers crossed. Aha! Good, good. Okay, so elevation tier, count for flights flying low and high and medium. That's kind of cool. That's fun. Keep track of stuff, right? All right, sometimes you want to look at an entire result set, but want to implement conditions on certain aggregates. For instance, maybe you want to identify the total amount of airports as well as the total amount of airports with high elevation in the same result set. We can accomplish this by putting a case when statement in the aggregate. Select state, count case when elevation is greater than or equal to 2000, then one else null end. As count high elevation airports from airports by state, group by state. Using the same pattern, write a query that counts the number of low elevation airports by state where low elevation is defined as less than 1,000. And that's just less than, not less than or equal to, so less than 1,000. Be sure to alias the counted airports as count low elevation. So let's go ahead and take this. Same song and dance. And less than 1,000 and low ta-da Good, good. Okay, so next, section 5. We can do the same thing for other aggregates like sum. For instance, if we wanted to sum the total flight distance and compare that to the sum of flight distance from a particular airline, in this case, United Airlines, by origin airport, we could run the following query. Select origin sum distance as total flight distance, sum case when carrier UA, then distance else 0 end as total united flight distance from flights grouped by origin. Okay, so we need to, instructions, using the same pattern, find both the total distance as flight distance by origin for delta carrier DL, so that, and then alias as flight distance as total flight distance, so total flight distance, and then the flight distance by origin. Oh, what do we, no. Total, alias the flight distance as, well, that's the same. Okay, so that's the first alias. And then the second would be this. So total delta flight. There we go. That makes sense. That's better. Let's go ahead and copy this and make those changes. D da 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 do. Totally drawn a blank right now. Ah, yes, delta. Right. We are looking for total flight distance. That's going to stay the same. Carrier will be DL. And delta. Huzzah. Fire at will. Running. Awesome. So that's good. We're golden. Look at this. Total delta flight distance. Okay, there's that. Don't mind me. All right, section 6. My face is still leaking. Oh God, don't mind me. I'll spare you this time. Oh God, why? Yeah. Death. Breathing's overrated. It's a stupid activity anyways. What are we doing? We are trying to survive the last couple parts without completely suffocating on stream. From the top, oftentimes we like to combine aggregates to create percentages or ratios. In the instance of the last query, we might want to find out the percentage. What's that, little cat? What are you doing? Where are you going? No? You're leaving? Okay. We were doing something about someone. What's that? In the instance of the last query, we might want to find out the percent of flight distance that is from United by origin airport. We can do this simply by using the mathematical operators we need in SQL. Select origin 100 asterisk times, what the deuce, times sum, what's happening, 100, I think it's times sum, well, let's go within the parentheses. We've got the distance, which we are taking the sum of the distance, and we're dividing that by when carrier equals United, then distance, else 0 end, and we're summing all of that, and that's getting divided by the sum of the distance, and that's getting multiplied by 100. Okay, gotcha, to give us an actual, like, number, a percentage, a complete percentage, instead of just a decimal, we're multiplying it by 100 to get a percentage. So, there we go. As percent flight distance from United from flight through by origin. All right, crisis averted mostly. Using the same pattern, find the percent of flights from Delta by origin. Carrier equals Delta, DL. In the query, alias the column as percent flight distance from Delta. Percent flight distance. Am I missing something? Oh, here. Right, gotcha. I was confused because this was kind of similar to this one. This was the last activities. But we're taking U and modifying that with the new info. So UN gets swapped out for Delta. Goodbye, United. Hello, Delta. And now we are taking this, extracting United yet again, and going Delta once more. Running that. Yes, good. Onwards to 7? I think so. Modify the previous elevation examples to find the percent of high elevation airports, elevation greater than 20,000 by state. Find the percentage of high elevation airports, elevation greater than or equal to 2,000 by state. Did I say 20,000? 2,000 by state from airports, from the airports table. In the query, alias the percentage column as percent high elevation airports. All right, we'll do that. Why am I getting so many texts right now? What is happening? Good. And another one. Good, let you know. Cool. Back to focusing. Priorities, Stephen. Priorities. Coding first, then real life. What are we looking for? Something about modifying. Right, finding percentages. Find the percentage of high elevation airports, elevation blah, by state from airports in the query alias blankety blank. So, let's do select. So I think we're just modifying this. Maybe we're modifying this. This seems wrong. I feel like it would be a lot more simple than this. Let's do... What does our gut reaction tell us? My spidey senses. Select... elevation. Modify the previous elevation example. Okay, so we are taking this. Modifying the previous elevation example to find the percentage of high elevation airports by state. So group by state. from airports, when I overthink stuff, it's like my mind just locks down. But as soon as I like stop thinking about it, it just starts to flow naturally, I suppose. My concern is the delta thing. Do we need to get rid of the delta bit? I kind of feel like we do. I feel like a lot of this nonsense isn't actually necessary. I think from the as and on is good times. We're gonna run it, see what else we can fix. Okay, origin. It doesn't like the origin bits. Select blah blah blah. State. Probably state. Select state. Let's try that. Huh. Well. What to do in this situation? What's that, little cat? Hey, what are you doing? Scratching your face on the chair? Good, good. That's why we bought this chair, so you can scratch your face on it. Me sitting in it is just, you know, secondary. All of this is for you. Select state. God, I am just running out. Mentally, my mind is just not there. Hey, what are you doing? What are you doing? Love you. Oh my god, you're so furry. I love it. Hey, why don't you hang out on the bed, since you don't know what to do with your life, and I'm gonna keep coding. Good talk. Good talk. This is turning into an utter fiasco. Little cat, I'm going to... Will you please move? Princess, I love you. Hey, your colon is extremely close to my face. And you're laying on the escape key. Okay, this is falling apart. It's a sign. Just get the code and move on. Holy hell. Yes, thank you. Getting code. And they made it a one line, but we'll put it back to what we had. We did have state. We had from airports. Hey, it's me, you furry bomb. Go away. If you don't like me typing, then don't be on the desk. Okay, we had group by state, we had select state, we had percent as high elevation. I think it was the count that was different. Oh, and they got rid of the delta stuff, and they changed it to elevation. That's what they did. They got rid of the where delta and replaced it with elevation. Okay, fair enough. That makes sense. My mind just wasn't bred with the sneezing and the cats and the... Oh god, with the texty things. That was my bad. My fault. Steven's not good enough. Same as always. Awesome. Lesson complete, but let's read section 8. Generalizations, right? That's the last. Okay. Congratulations, you just learned about conditional aggregates in SQL. What can we generalize so far? Conditional aggregates are aggregate functions. The compute... Did no one double check to read what was being put out on display for the final course? From the top, conditional aggregates are aggregate functions. The compute a result set based on a given set of conditions. That compute probably a result set based on a given set of conditions. Null can be used to denote an empty field value. Case statements allow for custom classification of data case statements can be used inside aggregates like sum and count to provide filtered measures. Good times. Let's go ahead. We will take a peek at the next lesson, which will be for tomorrow, day 144. And then we will back out of the stream, check the closing stats, and power things down. Up next, date, number, and string functions. Use the built-in date, number, and string functions to manipulate table data. Table data, whatever you prefer. Either way, onwards to the next lesson. All right. There are 9 parts to tomorrow's lesson. Good to know. Oftentimes in data, in columns of tables is not the exact format we need to complete our desired analysis. We may need to extract a date from a full timestamp, manipulate a number, or combine first and last name columns to create a full name. In this lesson, we'll be learning about some of SQL's built-in functions for transforming dates, numbers, and strings. We'll be using database of bakeries. Is that it? We'll be using database of bakeries. The database doesn't matter. It's awful. We're trapped in a bakery. Tomorrow we're going to be stuck in a bakery. We have to find our way out. It's cooking nightmare. Bakeries in this lesson, sure. It is important to note that date, number, and string functions are highly database dependent. Here we focus on built-in functions in the SQLite database management system. Cool. We will be looking at that tomorrow, which will be day 144. In the meantime, let's go ahead and check out our closing stats for today as we conclude day 143. Joshua. Hello there. How are you doing? How's your, oh god, what's today? We'll figure that out. Don't mind me. Tuesday. How's your May 23rd going for you? Hopefully decent. Back to chat. You're great. That's awesome. Having a great Tuesday? Hell yeah. Good times. A great Tuesday is hard to come by. Tuesdays can be kind of, lackluster, for lack of a better phrase. Speaking of Tuesdays, and today, day 143, we are concluding day 143. We were looking at our stats, 75% of the way through SQL table transformation, and 1,663 points of confusion, frustration, success, and some achievement with loading 230 badges. Good times. Way cool. All right. We are getting there. We are slowly nearing the end of Codecademy. It's taken a while, but we will get there. I'm writing a program to crack passwords for a game. Interesting. That sounds fun. That sounds way more interesting than any of the stuff we've covered here at Codecademy. But, I think the most interesting course, I'm hopeful. I've got high hopes for it. Although, so far, my track record for courses that I have high hopes for here at Codecademy have kind of fallen short. I had high hopes for Python. Didn't quite sit well with me. I definitely need to do my own side project to get a better feel for that. Same thing with Ruby and Ruby on Rails. Had high hopes for those courses. Didn't quite sit well here in the Codecademy environment, so side projects are definitely needed. But we made it all the way, basically, to the end with the Watson API. So that's a thing, Next one is Brain.js. They don't offer that here, but machine learning. That's what I'm hopeful for. And we can just make bots, and then they can figure out the passwords for us, hopefully. It's probably not how it works, but we're still dreaming. We're learning the foundation of all this stuff. It's been a long haul. Hey, little kitty, will you stop touching the escape key? I know it's not doing anything, but my god. Hey, no, we're moving you. I know we're powering down the stream, but still, it's just, you're way too involved. Yeah. Watch your toes. And your tail. Thank you. Go be a cat on the bed. Thank you. Good. All right. Well, best of luck on your password crack thingy for your program to crack passwords for a game. Dare I ask what game? Perhaps? Is that a question? Maybe it's for all games. Who knows? Skeleton key works on everything. What are we doing? We are backing out of Codecademy, closing down for day 143. Deep World. I haven't played Deep World. Although I just came out of playing Breath of the Wild for like 250 hours, so, you know, to each his own. Alright. Good times. And you sent the link. We can check that out in the near future. In the meantime, we are backing out of Codecademy and closing down. Day 143 comes to an end. Thank you to anyone and everyone who stopped by to view the stream. Joshua, that includes you. Thank you for stopping by. And anyone who may have accidentally come in here to view the stream or who came here on purpose, any and all views are greatly appreciated as always. In the meantime, we are closing down over to OBS, stopping the stream. The adventure continues tomorrow with day 144. Are you sure you want to stop the stream? Hell yeah. Kill it.